In today's video, we're exploring the best two-bedroom homes for sale in Easton Park. Honestly, we're comparing Brookfield against David Weekley. I'm going to tour 4 homes, and we're going to see the good and the bad of each. We're going to get after it right now. Hey, Daniel here, a local Easton Park real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the Easton Park neighborhood, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. You know, as a teacher for 10 years before I jumped into real estate, and I found that a lot of the skills and values that drew me to education have transferred over extremely well into real estate. Honesty, hard work, effective communication, and really caring about my clients is still extremely important to me. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. I'd love to get to know you, get to know your situation, and help you navigate the Austin market and find not just the best home that fits your lifestyle, but also negotiate the best deal on your behalf. All of my contact info is in the description below. So today, like I said, we're looking at 2-bedroom houses. And like I also said, it's between Brookfield and David Weekley. Brookfield has condos. They have these detached condos. I'm standing in one right now. And it's their lowest priced homes. It's actually the lowest priced homes in Easton Park. And then David Weekley is the other builder. They have townhomes. It's a different section of Easton Park. It's the only gated community here. So very different products, but they both have that one thing in common. They're both 2 bedrooms. So this, in my mind, is more of a starter home, maybe downsizing too. But most people, it's going to be their first home. They're trying to get out of the rat race of renting, and they just don't have a ton of money saved up for a massive house, so they just want to get in and start paying a mortgage. These homes are the perfect solution to that. So we are going to tour Brookfield first. I'm going to talk about the current incentives, and yeah, just kind of give you my honest opinion of the houses we're walking through. So let's get into it. All right, so like I said, we're starting with the Brookfield condos. I'll pan around so you can kind of get a sense of how these work, but they are detached homes. This will be other condos, and so the front doors face into a common area here. And actually, I'll zoom in, you can see a completed version down there. So you'll have some chairs, you know, usually like a little picnic table area, but your doors face each other. And honestly, I kind of like that as far as just the community aspect of the condos. Most of the time though, you're gonna be parking in your garage. Now, none of these homes have driveways, and that's gonna be a big difference between these and David Weekley, so definitely keep that in mind. You do not get a driveway with these. The garages are big, but you do not get a driveway, and it's no street parking either, okay? Now, the first house we're checking out is this one. This is an example of their Lexington floor plan. The Lexington floor plan is 1,098 square feet, so basically 1,100 square feet, and this is listed at 297,000, excuse me, 298,000, okay? It's 298,000. So I haven't gone inside yet, so let's check it out. I'll give you my candid responses here. The HOA here is $115 a month. So that is something to factor in. The single family homes for Easton Park is around $75, so you do pay a little bit more. I like this brick siding, and I like that we got a little front patio here. Obviously, this will be a lot quieter. Also, where we happen to be with these condos, you see off in the distance, is Newton Collins Elementary is right there. So if you do have elementary age kids, or you're going to start a family, this is fantastic. It's a very short walk to the school. And also in the distance there is Skyline Park. See that thing on top of the hill? That's the largest park in Skyline, or in Easton Park. So as far as location, and proximity to the school and amenities, the amenity center is just down there. Brookfield definitely has a stronger position in the neighborhood than David Weekley. Something to bring up there. All right, I feel like I just rambled a lot of things at y'all. Let's jump in. We do get a Ring doorbell, and we do get the code. As far as the incentives that Brookfield's offering, they're basically saying we're gonna offer you a 4.99 fixed rate. Now, we can add things to that, and then you can also get that for a conventional loan too, which is great. Most builders say 4.99 FHA, and then they bump it up by 0.5% to 5.5 for conventional. So I'm really impressed that Brookfield's doing that for VA, conventional, or FHA. But we have some wiggle room here. We can ask for a 2-1 buy down. meaning the first year it's a 2.99, so your monthly payment's quite lower, like a couple $100 lower. And then the next year 3.99, and then starting year 3 it's 4.99 fixed. Or we can ask for fridge, washer, dryer, blinds to be installed plus the 4.99. Or we can ask for closing costs paid and the 4.9. Like, we have some ways to negotiate. So just kind of know that's roughly, it's very basic with what they're offering. I think that's a good incentive, and honestly it's just a kind of starting point to start negotiations, assuming you work with a realtor that knows how to negotiate. All right, back to it. So LVP flooring, that looks great. Scratch resistant, water resistant, or waterproof I should say. This is the main living area. And I'm really just looking at the layout of these homes. So one thing that stands out to me that this doesn't have is an island. Now you have space for it. You can get one of those portable islands here, but if you are considering renting this out in the future, or this is maybe your first investment property, I would definitely highly advise having a small island in here. I love this backsplash. That was great. We get a 5-burner gas range. Not built in, right? We're saving money, but it's nice. I mean, this is updated whirlpool. Really large single basin stainless steel sink. That looks fantastic. Good amount of natural light. I haven't turned any lights on, and it's quite a good amount coming in here. This is the lowest priced house we're seeing today too. So it's definitely off to a good start. Now we can see the side yards, what you get here, right? Yard is being generous with that word. You get this gravel pit, but I have seen some neighbors around here put turf down. There's nothing saying we can't do that. And so that's what I would do. If I lived in one of these, I would put some turf down, make it feel like you have a little bit of a private oasis, but it is private. So that's nice. And then just metal fence there, and then metal gate there. Let me show you. These are the private driveways, right? Private roads, I should say. And then that's not long enough. As you can see, this person parked sideways to fit just on their driveway, but you don't really have a driveway. You just have the garage. So not much of a back patio. This one happens to be elevated. That's why they have a railing here per city requirements, because it's an elevated slab. Not all of them are going to have that though. Fridge would go here. This is actually the half bath. So this does have 2.5 bathrooms. Pretty nice. They didn't skimp on the pedestal. Like, we got a full cabinet here for the sink. So pretty nice of them to do that. As far as the garage, because you are going to be kind of required to park in here, it's a decent width, right? From the wall to the garage door, we're talking about 2 feet. So that's a good amount of width there. Something I would definitely bring up is they need to adjust. I shouldn't be able to see light coming through here. Yeah, they need to adjust this. There's some issues with how they installed that. But you get a tankless water heater, you do get an EV charger, and that's it. There's no irrigation system. Here's your pantry, kind of in the middle there. It's a very typical standard size pantry. And then you do get a coat closet here by the front door. All right, let's check out upstairs. I will say location matters, obviously, but I can tell you from experience, I helped someone who owned this specific floor plan, tried to rent it out, and it was really difficult to rent out. It was on market for a few months, purely because it was right next to a busy road. And so, you know, who knows if the road if that wasn't there, if it was something to do with the layout, you know, I'm not sure. I do know a lot of people came in and they brought up the no island thing. And so I think that goes a long way. Just to have a small island, it gives them the resemblance of a larger kitchen, more countertop space. But if you're considering buying one of these and then renting it out in the future, definitely talk to me, talk to a realtor in the area who's dealt with that side of it too, just so you kind of know to avoid some pitfalls with that. Because this floor plan's a little small, right? All right, walking up the stairs, we have our HVAC system right here, which is great. Really easy to just change out your air filter, pour a little bit of white vinegar down there every 3 months. avoid costly HVAC replacements. And then we have a utility closet, right? So you will have to do stackable. I like that they put tile and they put the drainage in there so you don't have to get a drain pan, it's just in there, which looks nice. But yep, you have to do stackable. Here is the guest bedroom. They do not add fans to guest rooms, but they do block it, so you can add a fan there, like the electrical is set up for it already. And then I do like that you get an ensuite for both bedrooms. Pretty, low priced, right? I mean, the countertop is solid stone. It's nothing that's amazing. It gets the job done. This is nicer than just a pedestal sink, and then very basic, tile, not floor to ceiling, kind of stops about 1.5 feet, 2 feet before the ceiling. But again, I like that the guest room has its ensuite bathroom. That's rare to see. And then here's the primary. Primary's pretty small. So again, shocker, right? 1,100 square feet, obviously it's gonna be pretty tight. You could fit a king in here, but it'd be very tight. I would not recommend that. If you have a queen, that would probably be a little bit better on you. I love the amount of natural light in here. And then just the one sink, again, kind of a downside of this. I do like the walk-in shower aspect. And then small closet, which I've seen a lot of people figure out shelving in here to make this work better. And natural light in here too. So cool. This was the Lexington, like I said, lowest price one, around $298,000. So now we're gonna compare it to the next one. I believe it's the Beckfield. Beckfield floor plan from Brookfield, so I'll see you over there. All right, so this next Brookfield home is the Beckfield. This is their second 2-bedroom floor plan they offer. This one is listed at $317,000, so about $20,000 higher than the previous one. This is 1,192 square feet, so about 100 more square feet. And so you can pan around so you can see we're facing the opposite direction. We're actually on the edge, or one street over. So we do have somewhat of an eyesore with an apartment complex right there. I will say they do a really good job of the trees here, kind of blocking some of it. And it is far away. I'm not sure how it looks. Like those are right up against the gate there, right against the fence. These are pushed back a little bit, so it doesn't bother me too much, but you do get some foot traffic here. I see people kind of walking from the apartments to these trails, so something to be aware of. Again, it probably wouldn't bother me. It may bother you, so I just wanted to bring that up. But this is the Beckfield. So right off the bat, this front patio is the width of the house. So you got a very large front patio. Again, really like the brick look. Same thing, we're gonna have the code as well as the typical key, and then Ring camera comes with it. We're gonna have a lot of the same materials, right? It's the same builder, so same flooring. To the left immediately is our half bath. No natural light in here. You do get the cabinet, which is nice. And then immediately feels different because we have an island, okay? So that makes a big difference. This feels a lot bigger purely because of the island, and it's a pretty good size island there also. They made a really nice choice with this color of cabinet. It looks great. They're really nice. Same range, right? Same microwave, same stainless steel. This is now looking out. So the living room would be over here. Most likely, you're gonna put your TV right here. That's where it's cabled for. I don't know, I might actually put mine over here. You have options with that. Then a couple windows looking out to the front. Looks like they already installed blinds on this one. Interesting backsplash. I think I prefer the other backsplash, but it looks fine. It's non-offensive. I really like the island though. Fridge would go here, right? You can see the cabinets right above it. And then you kind of have this open space. It's interesting because they put outlets here as if a countertop would be here. And that's probably what I would do if I moved into this house. A really easy thing to add would be figure out what material this is, right? Get the same cabinets and then just hire a third-party carpenter to come out and install that. Build that right here. And then when it goes time to resell the property or you're trying to rent out the property, this is beating everyone else who has a Beckfield because you have a bigger kitchen because it's showing like that. So that's what I would do. They already have the outlets there, which is great. It's just utilizing them. Same backyard, side yard as the previous one. This one is lower to the ground though, that's why we don't have the railings here. So really, I'm not showcasing these homes. I mean, they are for sale. Who knows, by the time I upload this video, they may not be for sale. Really, I'm showcasing the floor plan. So things like that, the height from the back patio, backyard, it might be a little different, you know, but the dimensions of the space aren't going to be any different. Here we have our pantry, 2 doors. And then we have some storage under here, which is great. Always like the storage under the stairs. The garage is going to be the same dimensions. It's just the door placements in the corner for this one, which I kind of like. It makes it feel a little bit wider coming in from the corner, but same dimensions, same things in there. The EV charger. And then we have our coat closet, or no, excuse me, I already went in there. That's the bathroom. All right, carpeted stairs. I think David Weekley doesn't have carpet on the stairs, which I prefer. I don't like carpet, but I have met people who do, so, you know, I'm not really gonna say it's a pro or a con. To me, not having carpet is a pro. So this one, it's still stackable, right? Washer, dryer, stackable, kind of pushed back a little bit, so you have a little bit more room. The drain here in case we have any problems. Then also the HVAC is here too. So it's all in one area. This is kind of nice, purely from a layout standpoint, because if you have the dryer going, you can close this door and it's in that corner and both bedrooms are over here, versus the other one, the Lexington, it was right in the middle of the 2 bedrooms. So again, a small thing, but something to consider if laundry's going on all times of the day. Maybe you have to use one of these as an office. The dryer's further away. As far as the bedroom size and the bathroom size, these seem, where's the light? No, it's like almost behind the door. That's a weird placement. These seem the same dimensions. Yeah, definitely the same materials used. I don't think I showed this in the last one. Very typical coat closet. And then bedroom. Bedroom makes a little bit more sense. It's definitely bigger than the previous one. Like you could fit a king. It makes more sense because of how we're entering. We're coming in from this corner, and so you have all this space. So you could put a king over there, even if it's like really close to the walls. I don't think it would be, but even if you don't have a ton of walk space either side, that's fine because it's not a walkway. Versus the other room, you kind of had to walk through the room to get to the bathroom and to the closet too. But this is off to the side. You can see kind of the view of the front, right? Obviously, no, it's not great looking at an apartment complex. We're far enough away though. I don't think it's gonna be, A, it's not gonna be as loud as a road being right by your window. And B, I don't think they're throwing a bunch of parties up there. It's not the experience I've seen living in Easton Park. I haven't heard anyone complaining about the apartment noise. Closet space, and then, man, they had room. I wish they did 2 sinks. Just the 1 sink for this one. Interesting. Toilet's right there, so it's not separated. And then you have the walk-in shower. I think this is definitely bigger than the other bathroom. Kind of an odd layout though. And then as smaller closet. So there you have it. That's a Beckfield and Lexington. I'm gonna compare these and think about the incentives against David Weekley, but of these two, like if I had to say I would pick one of these, what would I buy? Really the question is this one worth $20,000 more? I would say yes, honestly. The island downstairs, the pushed further away washer dryer. The other thing is when someone's doing laundry, they're gonna be blocking that walkway. Whereas on this one, it's pushed to the side, so when you're actually opening it and doing your laundry, you are not in a walkway. This larger bedroom, I think all of those are really important factors into what creates value in a home. It's going to help down the road when it's time to sell, or when it's time to rent it out. You know, renters want to live somewhere that's comfortable too. So I think, yes, in my mind, this is definitely worth $20,000 more. And the incentives they have are pretty good, but let's compare that. So I'm gonna go over to David Weekley now. It's kind of the other side of Easton Park, northeast, and see if I can get access to a couple of their homes and we can talk about their incentives. So I'll see you over there. All right, we're over here in Nelson Village. This is where David Weekley builds. This is a gated community, very different. And as you can see, I talked about before, we do have driveways with these townhomes. Now, they have two different products. I'll pan around so you can kind of see. They have these detached townhomes, and then they have these townhomes with the shared wall, obviously. All of them are gonna be 2-car garages, and all of them are gonna have pretty long driveways here. So this first one is their smallest one. It's their Brenner floor plan. This one is listed at $325,000. It's 1,382 square feet, 2-bed, 2.5 bath. So let's check this one out. So this one, it's gonna be the next step up as far as pricing compared to that Brookfield we just came from. It's also quite a bit larger, and you get that driveway. So immediately I'm thinking this is already better than that one. Interesting with the side entrance here. I love this front door. I love that it's 8 foot tall. Really interesting glass. That's very cool. Now, these floor plans are wildly different from what we had before. So as you can see, right, I just walked in, almost like a little office common area. Like we just walked into a dentist office. You have an office here. I'm assuming this is an office with those glass windows, and then a bedroom there. So I'm expecting that we'll see another bedroom upstairs, okay? I haven't walked through this one yet, so we're on this journey together. Here's the garage, very large garage. Wow, I was not expecting that. So we have this extra spot right here. That's fantastic. That's a ton of extra space, and it's under stair storage. Good job, David Weekley. That's awesome. I really like it when builders put natural light on the top of the garage. It's tall enough so when someone's walking by with their dog, you can't see them still, so you maintain that privacy. But without turning lights on, you get a lot of natural light in here. Yeah, this garage is massive, way bigger than I was expecting. We still get an EV charger, that's great. And I guess we have the water heater somewhere else. So I need to keep an eye out for where they put their water heater and what type. Flooring here looks like LVP, luxury vinyl plank. Same as, same as where we just came from, Brookfield. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the primary. Interesting, maybe there isn't a bedroom upstairs. This is a very large bathroom. So I also love it. Brookfield does this too, where you have the timers. So you take a shower, you hit the timer for the vent, and it automatically turns off. That's a really nice feature. Again, both builders offer that. It's just something I wanted to point out. Okay, coat closet in here. A bedroom, a pretty small bedroom, probably 10 by 10, with a small closet. So interesting. Okay, let's keep walking. I keep thinking, is that the primary? Is that not? A beautiful front door. I'm assuming this is an office. So really this is a 2-bed plus an office, I assume. In Texas, it can only be counted a bedroom if it has a closet. I don't see a closet. Also, these are glass doors, so it's clearly an office vibe down here. Now, it's not the greatest view, right? You're just staring at an air conditioning unit. But this is way better than those Brookfield's condos, as far as you actually get a yard, right? You get a fenced off yard, really good amount of privacy with this specific one, really good amount of depth too. These lots are very long. I don't know if it's just this street, but these look great. And if you have a dog, they actually have real grass to go potty on. That looks fantastic. And okay, so we do have irrigation system right here. So you do have an irrigation system because you have an actual yard. I'm really impressed. All right, let's check out upstairs. It's such an odd layout, but let's see. Really beautiful handrail too. Carpeted stairs, so just like it. But then we don't have carpet up here, which I really appreciate. Yeah, okay, so obviously the kitchen's up here, right, in the living room. Kitchen comes with an island, good thick silestone. Comes with a fridge, so immediately we don't have to negotiate, it just comes with it. These cabinets look really high quality too. Do we get the slow close? We do not. Still, it looks like the same range and microwave as what we saw with Brookfield. Now, as far as the incentives, I kind of buried the lead with there, I apologize. So the incentives David Weekley offers is a 4.99 fixed. They do it a little differently. So you can get a 4.99 FHA, or you can get a 4.99 conventional, but then it's a 7-year fixed. And after 7 years, it becomes adjustable. So it's a 7-year ARM, adjustable rate mortgage. Now, I don't think that's great. I think incentives-wise, Brookfield wins, but you are getting blinds included, you're getting a fridge included. So they're comparable to each other. I like that with Brookfield, I could get a 4.99 fixed conventional, plus I could probably negotiate closing costs paid. I don't think I could get that here. But I really like a lot of things about this one. As far as the price per square foot, the price they're already giving you, and so they may not have as much money to give for incentives, if that makes sense. But that's what they're offering, is 4.99 with fridge and blinds included. You don't have to negotiate those things. And then owner's title policy is paid for. Both builders will cover that. So we have our dining area over here, it looks like. Maybe not actually. I guess that's kind of the living area right here, kind of overlooking the front of the house. And then dining here, yeah, because I have a little light fixture right there. Kind of a little tricky with the stairs going up. You have to get the right size table. Beautiful kitchen, really pretty. Pretty standard pantry. Okay, interesting. I expected the half bath to be downstairs. This one, pedestal sink, I prefer a cabinet. I think it looks nicer and you have more storage space. But I don't think a pedestal sink should be a deal breaker for anybody. And then we have our utility closet, not stacked, and you get closed cabinet. That looks great. And they match the cabinet in the kitchen. That looks fantastic. I asked the sales rep, she said washer dryer not included. I see a washer dryer here, so interesting. Something to negotiate. Yeah, okay, this must be the primary. I'm seeing ceiling fan, ensuite. Okay, this is way bigger. It's the biggest bedroom we've been in so far. 3 windows, fantastic amount of natural light. Check out the bathroom. 2 sinks, great job. Also the single faucet, really easy to clean around. That's a nice upgrade. Good job, David Weekley. Large walk-in shower, natural light. Still not doing floor to ceiling tile, and the tile itself is pretty basic, but I'm fine with that. 2 sinks makes me happy. The toilet is off by itself. What's the closet space look like? David Weekley usually does pretty good with closets. Yeah. Not bad for this price range. I mean, it's way better than anything else we've seen today. And then we have the built-in shelves in the corner there too. Very nice. Yeah, so I'm really impressed with a lot of features with this one. Downstairs is clearly kind of weird. So I don't know if it's a pro or a con. It's more just traditional, right? It's traditional to have the kitchen and the living room, the dining room on the first floor. And so this feels a little weird to me, but again, that's just me and most people. I don't think most people walk upstairs to go to the kitchen, right? It's usually the opposite way. So the layout takes a little getting used to, but the features of this house, way better than anything we saw at Brookfield. I think the incentives for Brookfield are a little bit better, but again, it's minutia. It's very small, very, very, very small. You can get a 2-1 buy down here too. You already get the fridge and the blinds, so they're pretty comparable. I think there's just a little bit better. You know, getting a 30-year fixed 4.99 conventional is better than a 7-year ARM 4.99 conventional. So that's really my only gripe with the incentives. But I'm very impressed with this. This one was for $325,000. Right, that second Brookfield that we saw that I liked, I think that was $317, around that range. So comparable, right? That's really nothing when it comes to a monthly mortgage payment. I think I like this one better. I mean, that primary bedroom, way bigger, 2 sinks, that's a deal breaker for some people. You know, thinking of resale value down the road and even renters, because I'm looking at this as someone who, it's your first house. Like, you're buying your first house, you're renting right now, or maybe you're moving from out of state, you just need to find something small. And so you really like the neighborhood and you want to get the lowest price possible. 2 bedrooms is plenty for you. This has an office space. We didn't get that in the other two, so it's 2 plus an office. Really large garage. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It is kind of weird having the main living area up here. And so if you had a roommate, kind of odd. I think this works great for someone living by themselves because their primary bed is at the same level as the kitchen living, and then their office is downstairs, and maybe that's a guest room. I think that would be the simplest layout for this. Be kind of strange to have like a roommate living downstairs and then they have to walk up and down the stairs every time they need to get a snack. That's kind of weird. So it kind of depends on the lifestyle and how you're living the space, but this one by far, it's the best one. I'm really surprised that office exists with that massive garage and the backyard. I'm really excited about this. I'm not even buying it. I'm just excited to know this exists in the world. Okay, we have one more. I'm gonna be less excited for this one because I've been there. I went there a few weeks ago for a different video and I already know it's not my favorite, but I wanted to show it to you anyway, just so you can kind of see the higher end price and compare to David Weekley homes. So we're gonna go right across the street, so I'll see you over there. All right, so this is their Brentley floor plan. This is one of their detached versions. I believe this is the Jewel series. This is 1,693 square feet. It is listed at 370,000, so quite a bit more. This is 45,000 more, math? Yes, 45,000 more than the previous house we were just in. Pan around so you can see, or mainly just so you can see this, right? So we do have this gap here between properties. So it is detached, which is important to know. Let's check this one out. I do remember coming here and not being, thinking the price was way too high. Sorry if the wind's loud, y'all. Exact same front door. I really like that. 8-foot tall door, looks great. And this is gonna be about 250, 300 square feet more. So we do have an office. Office is quite a bit larger comparing to the other one, and it does lead to the backyard like the other one. Teeny tiny stoop. I wish they made that a little bit bigger. Good amount of space back here. I feel like there's less privacy, but just because that side of the street had the retention wall, so it gave you a little bit more privacy because the fence was a little taller. Okay. Technically, this specific one is probably priced a little bit higher because we're on the corner, and so that's a walkway, right? That's just a natural private walkway, and then the next house will start a little bit later. So you have a little bit more green, sky that you can see in this specific home. That's probably part of the reason why it's at this price. I'm sure if the location was different, it would be a little bit lower. We do get kind of a mudroom area. We didn't have that in the last one. Bathroom. I like that they did a single faucet. That looks great. Built-in shelves, great with the shower. Cool. Really interesting design for the tile. Bedroom downstairs, just the one window, typical closet, decent size, maybe 11 by 11, definitely a little bit bigger than we've seen before. The bedrooms and the office downstairs, it's kind of just like a beefier version of what we just came from. Oh, the garage sucks. It's nowhere near as nice as the other one. I am curious, so I see a tankless water heater. I'm used to seeing a tankless water heater in the garage. Where was the other house's tankless water heater? I'm curious to know the answer to that question. Interesting. Yeah, this garage is much smaller. Part of that selling point was just that garage was mad. I was not expecting to see that size of a garage. Then we have, so we're not utilizing the stairs. Am I missing something? Yeah, why did they not push out and you would have some understairs storage? That's really odd. The stairs are right there. And this closet also doesn't take advantage of that. As far as I know, there's nothing here, right? So it's just kind of space they're not utilizing. I like that we don't have carpet on these stairs. It's a nice little upgrade. And then this opens up So this layout works as far as you lead and you have a half bath here and you're not leading straight into the dining room like the last house. This is way bigger. You can definitely feel the increase in square footage. Really nice big island. Okay, so this is definitely an upgraded kitchen too. So you can see the built-in range. So we have some storage underneath that. And then the hood. And then you have the built-in oven microwave inside the cabinetry. So these are all things that make sense for it to be priced a little bit higher. I still don't think it's worth 45 grand more, but to somebody it will be. And at the end of the day, isn't that what matters? No cabinets in here. Huh, we got cabinets in the other one. And then bedroom's a little small on the other one, but it's still a good size. I like that they have the 3 windows still. It's a natural light looking out to your backyard. Check out this bathroom. 2 sinks, beautiful. Walk-in shower, natural light. Again, I wish the tile went to the ceiling. I'm being kind of picky. Like, we're looking at low-priced homes, but that's such an easy thing a builder can do to make it feel a little bit nicer, a little bit more custom. And then kind of a wraparound. I think I prefer the other closet over this one. Interesting. Cool, well there you have it. Yeah, I was blown away by that last one. $325,000 for a 2-bed plus an office. And really, you can't appreciate that until you've kind of seen the other comps, right? So that's why I wanted to do this video, was to show you 2 bedrooms that are available from the builders. It's really just Brookfield or David Weekley, the condos and the townhomes, and you just kind of compare apples to apples. But no, I like these a lot. I think it's a no-brainer. I think that $325,000 David Weekley that's the one I would buy if I was looking to get something in the low 300s. If I could afford this at $370,000, I would probably look at maybe a 3-bedroom. That kind of opens you up to other products that we have in Easton Park, maybe a Brookfield courtyard home. You can get something bigger with a more traditional layout than this. So I probably wouldn't say this is a great investment, but definitely that other one. And as far as the Brookfield homes, like I said when we were at that part of the video, the location, right, just where that is really close to the elementary school, to the amenity center. It's all walking distance. And so if you know you're going to use those things, then that's something that should play a role in this also. And again, if you're thinking of renting properties out, renters have kids too, right? So that's something that's gonna draw some people there. It's like, oh, I can walk my kid to school if we rent here. So the location of those is a little bit better. Even though this is a gated community, I've never seen that gate closed in my life. Now they're still building the community, but I don't know the gate code. I've lived here for 5 years. I've filmed these townhomes since day one, never seen that gate closed. So take that for what it's worth, right? It looks nice to be in a gated community, but if it's open all the time, it doesn't really make much of a difference. But hopefully this is helpful. If you are considering, or you know someone who's considering getting out of renting and they want a kind of a starter home, or maybe you're trying to downsize and you don't need as much room, you're looking for a 2-bedroom in a great neighborhood, hopefully this kind of showed you what we have available. But if you are considering buying or selling property in the greater Austin area, you can always give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. I really don't see myself as a salesman. I don't think I've ever sold anyone on a property before. I truly see myself as a personal advisor and helping people understand the decisions they're making, the pros and cons, walking homes with people, and just having an eagle eye and professional eye of, hey, I've walked in hundreds of homes, that's weird. Or I've walked into hundreds of homes, that's really cool. You usually don't see that at this price point. So having someone in your corner that has that experience and can also give you professional, honest advice throughout it and not just trying to make a quick buck from you. Because I can tell you, I was a teacher for 10 years and getting my teacher's license and going through college, that was difficult. Getting my real estate license was not difficult. And so that means it's a wide variety of characters out there that are realtors. And so we're not all the same. So if you're looking for someone, if you're looking for a realtor in general, I recommend you maybe call a couple people and kind of get a sense of if they know what they're talking about. But B, again, reach out to me if you do watch these videos and you feel like you have some trust built into me, please reach out. I promise I'm literally the exact same guy on the phone as I am on these videos. So if I can help in any way, again, reach out. And until next time, I hope to see you guys around town.